Hello, I'm Mrs. Charity. Welcome to the Glorious Heritage Overview of Catholic Church History. Discover the amazing story of the Church together as a family as you color and paste your way through the timeline and printables, which you can find on our website. And now let's move into our topic for today.
Hello, I'm Mr. Charity, and welcome to the Glorious Heritage Catholic History video series. Today's topic is number 140, the Irish Potato Famine. If you look on your timeline and summary question sheets, you'll notice that we are in the blue time period, which we have named Taken Away. If you don't have a timeline or summary question sheets, you can find them on our website. I have a question for you. How many times a day do you eat? If I had to guess, you probably at least have breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. For breakfast, do you eat eggs, oatmeal pancakes, or cereal and milk? For lunch, do you have a sandwich or some pasta? My favorite breakfast is an avocado with eggs and a glass of milk. Yummy! And if you are like most children, you probably also have a couple snacks throughout the day as well. In any case, we usually eat at least once a day, and we have plenty of different kinds of food to pick from. Thank God for giving us the food we need to live each day. However, there was a time in Ireland in the mid-1800s when this was not the case. The Catholics in Ireland had a very difficult life for a long time. Starting in the 1500s, the English Protestants started to come over to Ireland, killing many Catholics and taking their land. After many centuries of different kinds of persecution, the Irish were reduced to living very poor lives, most of them just growing enough food to survive. There was one kind of food in particular that the Irish grew because it was so easy to grow and because it was so healthy. This food was the potato. In fact, most of the Catholics in Ireland in the 1800s lived almost exclusively on potatoes, eating very little else, because they couldn't afford to eat anything else. We can go to the store and buy all kinds of different foods, but the Irish in the 1800s could not do that. Then in 1845, something terrible happened. There was a disease called the blight that swept across the entire land of Ireland. The blight didn't hurt people directly, but instead it ruined the potato crops all over Ireland. This was devastating because the potato was basically all that the Irish had to eat. In an instant, the Irish had nothing to eat. The first thing they did was start to sell the few possessions they had in order to buy more food. But that didn't last long because once they bought some food and ate it, then they were just hungry again. Now at this time, the British were ruling over Ireland. They helped a little bit at first by making up some jobs for the Irish to do in order to earn money to buy food. But the jobs were too difficult and they didn't pay enough. Everyone hoped that the potato crop would be better in the year 1846. But when it came time to dig up their potato crops in 1846, the Irish were horrified to see that the same thing happened. The potatoes were ruined from the blight, just like the year before. The poor Irish were in a panic to find food, many of them eating grass and seaweed to survive. The Great Potato Famine in Ireland ended up killing over 1 million Irish Catholics. To escape the famine, about 3 million Irish fled their homeland to go to America, Australia, Canada, or England. If your family has Irish ancestry and you live in those countries, there's a good chance that your ancestors came from Ireland to escape the horrible famine. Now Mrs. Charity will tell you about the ships in which the Irish fled their homeland. They are called Coffin Ships.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Charity. Because of the Irish potato famine, millions of Irish fled to find food in other countries. Because they were poor, and because there were so many of them who were fleeing, they were forced to pack tightly together in the bottom of a ship. There were no bathrooms for them, and many of them got seasick from the long sea voyage. This made the ships unsanitary, dirty, and smelly. So many Irish died on their voyages that these ships came to be known as Coffin Ships. A coffin is a box in which a dead person is buried. Because so many Irish died in these ships, they were like coffins. Those poor Irish Catholics. Life was not easy for them.
Welcome back. Now let me tell you a story about a little Irish boy who traveled from Ireland to America with his family, but both his parents died on the Coffin Ship. My name is Sean O'Reilly, and I was just a small lad of 10 when the Great Famine took everything from us. The blight turned our beloved potatoes black, and hunger drove my family to the harbors in Cork, Ireland. We boarded a coffin ship, hoping for a better life in America. The journey across the ocean was rough and relentless. Disease swept through the ship, sparing few people. Every night, Ma and I would pray the rosary together. Her voice, though weak, was steadfast. I'd follow along, keeping track of the beads between my fingers as I prayed. As we neared the shores of New York, my Ma and Dad both passed away. I held Ma's hand until her last breath, feeling the warmth of her fade away. I cried so much that day. Stepping off the ship all by myself, I was an orphan, and the city of New York was both a wonder and a terror to me. The streets were bustling with people speaking languages I did not understand. But there was hope yet. The kind sisters from St. Mary's Orphanage took me in. They gave me warm meals, a bed, and above all, they were so kind to me, since I was now all alone without my parents. At St. Mary's, I met other children like me, each one with similar stories of having lost their parents on the dreaded coffin ships. The sisters taught us to read and write and to pray. Every day we gathered in the chapel and attended Mass and prayed the rosary. I was so grateful that those good sisters took care of so many of us orphaned children. I miss Ireland terribly, the rolling green hills and the sound of our old Irish language. But in New York, I found a new family among the children and the sisters at St. Mary's. Though life was harsh, I learned to accept my life and thank God for all the blessings He gives me through the sisters. Someday when I grow up, I want to be a priest. I want to build up the Catholic Church in America, and also I want to share my story as an Irish orphan, in order to help people appreciate all the blessings they are given by Almighty God. Well, that's all for today. In our next video, we'll talk more about the British and how they made colonies throughout the world in the late 1800s and early 1900s. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today. Visit our website www.gloriousheritagecartoons.com, where you can find more educational supplements, cartoons, books, and printables. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to get notified of our latest updates and videos. And if you like our work and want to support us, you can make a donation on our website or on Patreon. We really appreciate your generosity and kindness. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.